Now let me see. What's today? Friday the 13th. Then it's bad luck for the Blue Dragon and its owner. Oh, Samuel Chunk, it was an evil day when 20 years ago you deliberately disregarded the injunctions of a dying man. The pain has laid upon my chest like a nightmare ever since, and though some say it's chronic indigestion, I know the truth of what it is. Remorse, an uncontrollable and inconvenient remorse.
Ah, landlord, I require a night's lodging, and if the bed is comfortable, I may linger a week under your hospitable roof.
The Blue Dragon will be happy to accommodate you, sir. You're a stranger in these parts. I don't seem to recognise your face.
Dear me, that's very disappointing. I was afraid that you wouldn't, and yet I do live in hopes of being recognised. It is the one drawback to my complete happiness that nobody knows who I am. I don't even know myself. For many years it has been my vocation to travel the world in search of my certificate of birth, thus far without success. I am completely in the dark as to who I am, where I was born, who my parents were, or even how old I am. It is the last that causes me the most inconvenience. Am I a young boy, or am I well advanced in life? Should I be continuing my studies, or is it time that I settle down and marry a woman of suitable appearance? You can scarcely imagine the ceaseless worry of my position. Is there any lot in life so inexpressibly hopeless as that of the man who has lost his certificate of birth?
Nobody would think that you were over 25 years of age.
How but you're merely judging by appearances, and they are never to be trusted. Take, for example, the case of a woman. She may appear to you to be a addled 45, but you have but to ask her and you learn the truth, that she is in fact a mere ingenue of 19.
But don't you remember your father or mother?
I never knew them. My earliest memories are of life among the desert tribes of the distant desert of Sahara.
Oh, poor boy.
Boy, there you go again. How do you know I am a boy? I may have been a full-grown man when you were being dandled by a doting mother. The only clue I have is that my linen was marked with the name Christopher Johnny. I am very anxious to search the parish registers for a certificate of my birth. Do you know where the keys to the church might be obtained?
Yes, sir. You need to speak to Widow Jackson. She keeps the keys to the church and she opens the pews on Sunday. Tell her everything you have to say, and she will give you a patient and attentive hearing. She has been known to stay awake through the whole of one of the vicar's sermons.
Yeah. I shall probably spend the afternoon at the church and ask you to prepare a late luncheon for my return. But who is this pretty maiden who comes towards us?
Why, that's Miss Polly, Widow Jackson's daughter. She's a teacher at the local board school.
Dear me, I have always associated the board schools with everything repulsive and objectionable, but she is most sweet and comely in appearance.
Good afternoon, Miss Polly. So this gentleman is just asking for the keys to the church, and I have referred him to your mother.
Quite proper, Mr. Chunk. If you will follow me, sir, I will take you to Mother.
I am very anxious to search for a register of my birth.
Yes, well, I will show you so, but, oh, you know, in these days you must think about it, and why, it is only right to tell you that if you want a certificate signed by the vicar, there are 2 and 7 pence to pay.
Well, I will not let 2 and 7 pence stand between me and my future happiness. But I should very much like to make myself at ease with you before we go to the church. Now that we are living together, I will improve my acquaintance with you. How old are you?
18.
18. It is a sweetly pretty age, is it not?
I have always thought so. You are 18, sir?
I do not know that I am. I may be more, I may be less. I cannot say.
It should not be difficult to find out. You've but to subtract the year you were born in from the current year, and the answer will be your age. As a board school teacher, I am used to such intricate calculations.
I know the year in which I was born.
Then you call to your aid the science of algebra, and you represent the year of your birth by the symbol x, which is an unknown quantity.
Let us try to work out my age then. It may save you the 2 and 7s.
In this case, there are 2 unknown quantities. One is the year of your birth, which you represent by the symbol x. The other is your age, which you represent by the symbol y. The present year is 1899, and if we make an equation of it, we find that 1899 minus x equals y. In other words, you are 1,899 minus x years of age.
I see. The answer does not appear to be particularly satisfactory.
The answers in school board algebra very seldom are, sir.
What a pity it is that you should be cooped up in a schoolroom when every pulse should be bounding with the delights of springtime.
Oh, the schoolroom is well ventilated, and I like my work, for I feel I'm opening up the minds of young England. Oh, but sometimes a great longing comes over me when the sun will not work out properly, to race out into the meadows and drink in all the sweetness of the scented air while the soft breeze plays with my curls and coaxes the hairpins from their hiding places.
It is a rest. I would gladly join you in your pastime. When flowers blossom in the spring and blankets drawn again, hope to install myself in her good graces.
Well, I will tell you how to accomplish your object. My poor mother has one weakness, and that is to be asked to dance a hornpipe.
That is a most curious weakness on your mother's part. I understood she was a pure type.
So she is, sir. But my father was a sailor, and in a moment of thoughtlessness he taught her this hornpipe. 10 years ago he disappeared and has never been heard of since. And for 10 years mother has danced the hornpipe continually as a tribute to his memory.
She does not combine it with the pure opening business, I suppose?
Oh no, sir, she keeps them quite distinct. But 10 years of zealous pew opening would have broken any woman's heart who had not the hornpipe to fall back upon in her leisure. Oh, but here she is. Mother dear.
Why, Polly, what's the matter?
A gentleman to see you.
Yes, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Chunk tells me that you have the keys to the church, and I wish to inspect the parish registers. But I have one small favour to ask of you first. Your husband was a sailor, I believe.
Oh, sir, let him rest. He was a bold, bad man, but for 10 long years he has ceased to worry me.
You mean he is dead?
Well, I think so, sir. When a man never comes near his wife to bully her in 10 long years, she is justified in supposing he is dead.
Well, at any rate, rumour has it that you have acquired a strange facility in the performance of a hornpipe.
Sir, you flatter me.
Indeed I do not, Mrs. Jackson. I merely repeat what I have been told. Before we go to the church, I would very much like to witness your performance of this exacting dance.
Shall I humour him, Polly?
Oh yes, do, mother dear. It will cheer you up wonderfully.
Repeating what I went to see, a proof of your agility. Upon my car and go to play, as going song for the years.
So, mother dearest, please begin. You see the state he's getting in. Remember that your little will is something worthy new to him. With the uniform lads, with the breezes over lads, we'll love the ship and the hornpipe trip with the nimbus from my lads. When we hear the sailors cry, to the sandy shore we fly, for our oceans to bring peace. Always our only pride, always our Sometimes think it's very sweet to be so near your feet. Without a hornpipe I could not endure my own exciting lot. Stars climb each day by day, rise all the cares of life away. We like to see you raise your wing, so mother dearest dance away. With the yawning for my lads, when the breezes blow my lads, we'll love the ship and the hornpipe trip with the nimbus of my lads. When we hear the sailors cry, to the sandy shore we fly, for our oceans to bring peace. While the winds are rolling high, the waves are rolling, waves are rolling high, for our oceans to bring peace. When the waves are rolling high.
in Hope Haven once more, after an absence of 10 years. I wonder whether my Emma is lying peacefully in the little churchyard, or whether she takes in washing. It is sure to have come to one or the other. And then our little Polly. Why, Polly must have grown up by this time. But this is weakness. It is not worthy of a pirate. Heart of man, think of your long career of villainy and be merry and cheerful once more. And that is the old blue dragon. Surely Samuel cannot be found within. They can't all have survived my 10 years' absence. What ho there, landlord? Why, Samuel, by all that's blue. How are you, messmate?
Why, who do you mean to say you are? No, not Billy, old captain. I'll not believe it. You've only come to frighten me.
Billy it is, you white-livered publican.
I thought you were dead, or drowned, or shot, or hung, but everything was nice and comfortable again. And now you go and turn up like this. Oh, Billy, one doesn't look for consistency in pirates, but this is more than usually selfish of you.
Oh, don't take on so, Samuel. Why, you're not well. Perhaps a little sarsaparilla.
Oh, what can sarsaparilla do for a victim of remorse?
Remorse? Oh, this is positive childishness. You, a man absolutely steeped in crime, a robber, an assassin, you talk of remorse.
But I was only a pirate by proxy, and who was my proxy? You. Why did I ever enter this criminal partnership with you?
Because you thought it would be a paying concern. You found the capital, and I was to be the managing director. You were to take 10% on the interest, and I was to take the remainder as recompense for the great personal risk I ran.
I only thought that was just and equitable.
Then what have you to complain of? I sent you your share of the profits regularly every month by registered letter.
And you were most punctual in your payments.
I dare say you wonder that I never feel remorse for my piratical career, which I don't. If ever man had an excuse for turning pirate, I did. Brought up with my twin brother in the path of rigorous Anglicanism. Imagine my feelings when immediately after the death of our beloved parents, my brother deliberately turned his back upon the orthodoxy I delighted in and joined the Plymouth Brethren. In the excess of a righteous grief, I purchased the cruiser Lily and became a pirate without delay. Pirate old and by, they call me Captain Billy. A trim-built craft was fore and aft as a pirate cruiser Lily. But oh, I sit and sigh when I think how I and brother had lots of grub and a Saturday tub from a fond and foolish mother. And here's a health to Billy, the commander of the Lily, and drink a toast on every coast. From far to Captain Chile. She trained us in the way that every good boy goes in, and we were told our hands to fold into the limbo toes in. She taught us day by day, no chapel door to enter, where weekly flocks unorthodox, the bold and bad dissenter. Then here's a hell to Billy, the room and Piccadilly, to drink a toast with every host, from far Japan to Chile. To man's estate we grew, without unseemly frolic, till in the prime of summertime, dear mother had the colic. Alas, we scarce she knew we'd seen the last of mother when brother Jack, arrayed in black, became a Plymouth brother. Then here's a health to Billy, her room in Piccadilly. We'll drink her toast on every toast, from far Japan to Chile. I went to a zinky shore from orthodoxy joyrate, and in my grief I sought relief by starting as a pirate. But now in cause of good I give no vote or proxy. My heart went dead when brother said goodbye to orthodoxy. Then here's a health to Billy, commander of the Lily, and drink her toast on every coast, from far Japan to Chile. Aha!
It must be a consolation to you that you did your very best to punish your dissenting brother.
Oh, it is. I have endeavored to stamp out his branch of the family. And when you sent word to me 20 years ago now that he was dead, I hastened to take his little son to Africa. One day I took him for a walk in the great desert of Sahara. I regret to add, I lost him there. He has never been heard of since, and I have inherited my brother's estates.
What very bad man you are, William.
Oh no, Samuel, I am not wholly bad. I sold my brother's estates by auction, and I gave you 10%. But as for my brother's boy, even if he survived the terrors of the desert, no one would have any clue to his identity. Before I took him out and lost him, I marked all his linen with their name, Christopher Johnny, in bold and distinct characters.
Christopher John? That name rings a bell.
Oh, impossible. It was entirely my own invention. The boy's real name was Cherubim Jackson.
Certainly bestowed a blessing in making that alteration.
Of course I did. No young man with the name of Cherubim could ever have got on in life, except perhaps on the stage.
Got it! Why, there's a young man called Christopher Jolly staying in the Blue Dragon.
Impossible. Never.
It's true. And what's more, he's at the church looking for his certificate of birth.
Oh, you cut out the page that contained the entry, didn't you, Samuel?
Well, of course I didn't anyway. He's looking for Christopher Jolly, not Cherubim Jackson.
Still, I must be certain that he's our man. Has he any luggage with him?
Only one bag.
I'll fetch it. Is remorse going to stir in this weather-beaten bosom of mine after all these years? Perish the thought. But who comes this way? Great heavens, my wife! Emma! Why, don't you know me, Emma?
Do you mean to say you've come back after leaving me in peace all these years?
That's the idea, Emma.
I had schooled myself to think that you were dead.
Oh, I do believe that you were no more, but I find you alive and apparently in the enjoyment of rude health.
Well, perhaps you may wonder how I eked out my scanty income in the years you left me entirely on my own resources.
Oh, don't be hard on me, Emma. I knew you had a small sum judiciously invested.
I did, William, but amidst buccaneering pursuits did no whisper ever reach you of the pitiful interest gained through the treachery of the Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Never! Had I known that a member of the government had tampered with my Emma's income, I would have cruised up the Thames and have ordered my pirate crew to sack the offending creature's official residence and thus he would dearly have repented his budget proposals.
My hero. Oh, but alas, you will never know how often I wondered for even a postal order from you. But fortunately, the post of parish pew opener became vacant, and our vicar kindly appointed me to the job.
Oh, and our little Polly.
Oh, Polly is 18 and a board school teacher.
A board school teacher? And her father a pirate?
Lydia, pray don't let any word of your vocation, your dreadful vocation, be heard by the authorities. Polly would be dismissed at once. And think what the evening papers would say.
Oh, yes, you're right, Emma. Another board school scandal.
And as for a sober, respectable parish pew opener, why, the vicar would request my resignation at once. And, William, I give out that I'm a widow woman.
Oh, you do? You have not any proposals for marriage, have you, Emma?
Not one.
I thought not. Well, you can tell your neighbors that you believe me dead, but that you knew that I turned up again. You need not mention that I'm a pirate. Tell them some plausible lie. Say that I trade in tin meats. They may take my cutlass for a tin meat opener. Oh, but belay there. I must renew my acquaintance with Samuel's old mild ales, for I am thirsty.
William is thirsty. Oh, what a rush of fond memories those simple words bring back. I thought my dashing buccaneer had wrecked his pirate boat, oh, and so I dropped a tender tear upon his ugly photo. I quite forgot the life he led, had fitted him for jail, oh, and round his undeserving head I placed a saintly halo. Although you led a shocking life, my baby boy, you did, oh, I'd rather smile as William's wife than weep as William's widow. For years I wore without ado the willow and the widow. I thought it fallen victim to some government torpedo. In various ways I labelled him deceased, defunct, and nato. And now he turns out fresh and trim as any new potato. But though you led a shocking life, my baby boy, you did, oh, I'd rather smile as William's wife than weep as William's widow. And are you hungry too, William?
Oh, I confess I should like a poached egg.
I shall make your heart glad with one. Oh, I am so rejoiced to see you so improved by absence. You were a dreadful bully once, but now you're as kind and gentle as a pirate can be.
Oh, my winsome Emma. 10 years of pew opening has taught you the art of saying pretty things.
The result is disappointing, but one thing we have learned. A page has been removed from the parish registers, not hastily torn out in the mad temptation of the moment, but slowly and laboriously cut with a pair of nail scissors.
Oh, Christopher! I may call you Christopher now that you've spoken words of love to me, may I not?
Certainly, my darling. When your mother left us alone in the vestry, your pretty hair was tickling my cheek, and I could not restrain my feelings. I said I loved you, Polly, and indeed I do. But until the certificate is found, we can never be married.
Never been married? Oh, Christopher, why?
Surely you would not marry a man whose age you did not know.
Oh, Christopher, my precious, your personal appearance pleases me very much. Why should I trouble about your age?
I do not feel that you are giving the matter sufficient thought. Supposing the certificate is discovered, and you learn that you have married a man old enough to be your grandfather, possibly I might turn out to be many years younger than you. Would you want it said that you would entrapped a mere boy into marriage?
I never thought of that.
Alas, one act of culpable official vandalism has blighted 2 young lives.
One young life, my darling, and another of absolute uncertainty.
I accept the correction, and yet I like to think that I am young. It gives me more time to find the certificate.
My mother may know something of the missing page. Suppose we ask her.
Darling, my luncheon is just due.
Oh, but surely luncheon sinks into insignificance beside our future happiness.
Holly, this gentleman would like a word with you.
That imposing uniform. London School Board, sir.
Oh, not I. Why do you not know me, Polly? Here, embrace me.
I think you'll find, sir, that the young lady has entered into an agreement with me, under which I become sole licensee in the matter of taking embraces.
Remember, Christopher, that I reserve the rights of mother, and of Great Aunt Jane. They were vested interests.
And how about your father?
My father, but my father is dead.
Oh no, Polly. He is alive and has returned to his wife and child.
Oh, father dear, I didn't know you. Of course I'll embrace you.
Oh, gently now. I have just had a poached egg. And you, young sir, what's your name?
Christopher Jolly.
Christopher Jolly? Who are your parents? Where were you born?
I regret that I do not know. My earliest recollections are of digging pits and building castles in the desert of the Sahara.
The Sahara? Oh, retribution has overtaken me in its worst form. Scoundrel, but don't remind me of it. I will confess everything. Billy, 20 years ago, when I sent you word that your brother had died in my arms, I thought only of his estates and the 10% that would be mine if they came into your possession. And I deliberately concealed a fact that would have surely melted your heart.
What was it, Samuel?
Speak! Or I feel I shall hurt you very much.
Well, the truth is that before he died, your brother returned to the path of orthodoxy. And he bade me inform you that he had forsworn the allurements of the Plymouth Brethren, and I never told you.
For 20 long years I have been a pirate, when I needn't have been one. For 20 long years I have wallowed in crime to no purpose. I am your Uncle William, and Polly's your cousin.
And the lady who is so proficient in the hornpipe is my aunt. Oh, this is too much.
I can only express my regret for having inadvertently lost you when taking you for a walk in the desert.
It was certainly very careless of you.
It was undecidedly so, but actually it was all Samuel's fault. I must make plans for the future. I shall remodel it. My idea is to travel for a large and respectable firm of soap manufacturers.
Oh, you husband.
Christopher, your name cannot be John. If your father and mine were brothers, it must be Jackson.
Christopher Jackson. How odd it sounds.
Christopher. It is not Christopher, it is Cherubim.
My name is Cherubim Jackson. It is a blow, but I must bear it like a man.
Take heart. Were your other name the truth, I would forever have been Polly Jolly. But when a board school teacher loves, she loves forever. We will bear this trial together.
Well, you have seen the last of Captain Billy before he merges in William Jackson, the respectable soap salesman. I have left behind the wickedness and deception that is incidental to a pirate's career, and I shall impose on no one. I shall speak the simple truth. The soap I shall sell will undoubtedly be the best, and I shall not hesitate to say so. My fate released at last from 20 years' dilemma, and spend my days in constant praise of dear devoted Emma, and blotting out the past, I'll better my condition by finding scope for someone's soap on a 10% commission. Then give help to me.